Let's be honest. Love is the most beautiful lie we all believe in. It's the one thing that can make you feel like you're on top of the world, and the very next day, like you've lost everything. You know that feeling when you meet someone and suddenly everything just feels right? You stay up late talking about your childhood, your fears, your dreams, and for the first time in a long time, you feel seen. You tell yourself, this must be it. This must be love. And then one day, they stop texting first. The calls get shorter, the excitement fades, and you're left sitting there wondering, was that love? Or was I just addicted to the feeling of being wanted? Here's the truth most people never tell you. Love isn't the butterflies. It's not the fireworks or the perfect movie moment or that rush that hits you when they finally say, I love you. That's attraction. That's chemistry. That's infatuation. But real love? That's something deeper. It's quieter. It's patient. It's often messy, uncomfortable, and not nearly as romantic as we imagine. But it's also the only thing that truly lasts. So today, in the next 9 minutes, I want to explain love to you. Not the fairy tale version, not the movie version, but the real, raw, human version. The one that actually works. Because if you don't understand love, you'll keep chasing sparks and calling it fire. And that's why so many people end up heartbroken, confused, and convinced that love just doesn't work anymore. Here's what we're going to talk about. First, what love really is. Not what society taught you, but what it feels like when it's healthy and real. Then, the 3 stages every real relationship goes through, and how to tell if yours will actually last. Next, we'll break down the difference between love and attachment, because a lot of people are stuck in something toxic and calling it love. And finally, how to build the kind of love that doesn't fade, the kind that feels like home even when life gets messy. So stay with me, because if you've ever been hurt, confused, or unsure about what love is supposed to feel like, this might just change how you see it forever. What love really is. Most people think love is a feeling, but that's not true. Love isn't a feeling. It's a choice you make every day. The feelings are what draw you in, the excitement, the spark, the rush. But the choice is what keeps you there. Feelings fade. That dopamine high you feel in the first few months, it's not supposed to last forever. That's just your brain's chemistry. Oxytocin, dopamine, adrenaline. But when those fade, that's not the end. That's actually when real love begins. Because that's when you start to see the person for who they really are. Their habits, their flaws, their humanity. That's when love stops being about how good you feel and starts being about how deeply you care. Real love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone you're willing to grow with. It's staying when communication gets hard. It's choosing to forgive, to show up, to keep trying. Love isn't something you find. It's something you build. The 3 stages of love. Every real relationship goes through 3 stages, and if you don't understand them, you'll give up before you ever experience true love. Stage 1, the spark. This is what we all crave. The butterflies, the sleepless nights, the constant texting. Everything feels new and electric. But that's not love. That's chemistry. It's supposed to be intense, but it's also temporary. Don't confuse excitement for connection. Enjoy it, but don't build your expectations on it. Stage 2, the reality check. This is where things get real. You start noticing flaws, differences, and annoying habits. Arguments happen. And this is where most relationships die, because people think the magic's gone. But this is actually where love starts. Now it's not about fantasy. It's about truth. You're learning to communicate, to compromise, to accept. Stage 3, the partnership. This is when love matures. It's calmer, more stable, less dramatic. You've learned to trust. You don't need constant reassurance. You've stopped performing and started being real. The spark may not be wild anymore, but what replaces it is deeper. Peace, safety, and genuine companionship. This is the stage where love feels like home. Love versus attachment. Now let's clear up one of the biggest confusions. Love and attachment. Most people aren't in love. They're attached. Attachment says, I need you to make me feel okay. Love says, I want you to be okay, even if it's not with me. Attachment is built on fear. Fear of being alone, fear of losing control, fear of not being enough. Love is built on freedom. It doesn't trap. It doesn't possess. It doesn't beg. When you're attached, you cling. When you love, you connect. Love gives space. It allows growth. It trusts. So if you're constantly anxious in your relationship, always wondering where you stand, it's not love you're feeling. It's attachment. And understanding that difference changes everything. Because love is not about who can stay the longest. It's about who can stay freely. So now that we've uncovered what love truly is and what it's not, let's talk about the part that matters most. How do you actually build it? How do you take all that emotion, that chemistry, that connection, and turn it into something that lasts? That's what this next part is all about, the how. Learn to be alone first. You can't build real love if you don't know how to be alone. Most people jump into relationships because they're afraid of being lonely. But if you can't sit with yourself, you'll always end up using love as a distraction. The best relationships happen between two complete people, not two broken halves trying to become whole. So learn who you are. Learn what you like, what you need, what you stand for. Heal your wounds before you hand someone else your heart, because when you stop needing love to complete you, you start creating love that complements you. Choose, don't chase. Stop chasing people who don't choose you. Love is never supposed to be begged for. If someone wants to be in your life, they'll make room for you. If they don't, forcing it won't make it real. When you chase, you send a message that your worth depends on their approval. But when you choose and wait to be chosen back, you build love from a place of strength, not fear. The right person doesn't have to be convinced to love you. They just will. Communicate honestly, even when it hurts. Love can't survive without honesty. You can't build intimacy if you're afraid to speak up. You can't build trust if you keep pretending everything's fine. Honesty doesn't destroy relationships. Silence does. Because silence turns small issues into resentment. So talk. Tell them when you're hurt. Tell them what you need. Tell them when you're scared. And just as important, listen. Not to reply, but to understand. Healthy communication isn't about winning. It's about connecting. That's how couples stay together. Not by avoiding conflict, but by learning how to fight right. Give what you want to receive. You attract the kind of love you give. If you want kindness, be kind. If you want effort, give effort. If you want respect, show it first. Stop waiting for your partner to change. Lead by example. Real love is not about keeping score. It's about showing up fully. 100 out of 100, not 50 out of 50. When both people give without keeping tabs, they build something unbreakable. Trust. Keep the friendship alive. The strongest relationships are built on friendship. Looks fade, passion changes. But friendship? That's what keeps you connected. It's laughing together. It's inside jokes. It's supporting each other's dreams. It's feeling safe enough to be yourself. When the friendship dies, the relationship turns into obligation. So keep playing, joking, and dreaming together. Don't let love become all seriousness and responsibility. Because love should feel like a team, not a task. Grow together, not apart. The reason many couples drift apart isn't lack of love, it's lack of growth. You're not meant to stay the same person forever, and neither is your partner. But the goal isn't to grow up and move on. It's to grow together. Support each other's evolution. Be curious about who your partner is becoming. Because love that grows together never gets boring. It gets stronger. Forgive, but don't lose yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. Love will test your patience and your pride. Forgiveness keeps love alive, but self-respect keeps you alive. Forgive, yes, but don't tolerate repeated disrespect. Forgiveness is about peace, not permission. Real love might require second chances, but it will never ask you to abandon your worth. Keep choosing each other. Love isn't something you fall into once. It's something you re-choose every single day. There will be days when it's not easy, when you're tired, frustrated, or unsure. But real love is when you look at them and still think, even when it's hard, I still choose you. And they choose you back. That's the quiet beauty of lasting love. It's not constant fireworks, but a steady flame that never goes out. So, let's wrap this up. Love, real love, is not perfect. It's not always exciting. It's not always easy, but it's real. It's the late night talks after a fight. It's the comfort in silence. It's the decision to stay when leaving would be easier. Love isn't about finding someone who never hurts you. It's about finding someone who's worth healing with. So stop waiting for love to find you. Start becoming the kind of person who creates it. Be patient. Be kind. Be the love you wish you had. Love isn't rare. Understanding it is. And now, you do.